In the big 2026, the question isn't just how do I get a job? The real question is, why should I even bother? We live in an era where the traditional promises of a career feels broken. Buying a house or a decent car doesn't feel like a milestone anymore. It feels like signing a contract to be stuck in debt for decades. A loan is inevitable, and it locks you into a system that you didn't build. Even the basics, getting married and starting a family, nowadays feels like a privilege reserved for the top 1%. You can't get married if you don't have a job, but there was a time where that was a possibility. Because getting married was the priority, the job was the easy part. It has flipped now. When you look at that, Matt, it is tempting, it is very tempting to say, I give up. It is tempting to stay in the safety of your childhood bedroom, playing games, and let the world burn outside your window. Why join the race if the finish line keeps moving further away? But at the same time, look around you. There are people out there right now getting jobs that pay well. There are people starting families. There are people who aren't paralyzed by the fear of debt or getting laid off. They aren't superhuman, they just found a way to make it work. And if they can do it, we can do it. We should eventually get our chance too. But only if we keep fighting for it. We need jobs not to survive in this economy, but to prove ourselves and to prove that we have a place in this. So, if you are feeling stuck, let's try to change the perspective. In this video, we're going to talk about money, resilience, and how to actually get hired in the big 2026 without you losing your soul. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Many of you watching this live with your parents. In 2026, there is zero shame in this. The economy is brutal, but there is a danger here. If you aren't careful, your childhood bedroom becomes a clock with broken hands, where time is ticking, but you're going nowhere. If you live at home, you are on a launchpad, and I have these set of rules for you to get your head in the game, okay? So, rule number 1, the 9 to 5 is mandatory. It's inevitable, you can't hide from it. If you want to extend it, go ahead, but you must put in the work. If you don't have a job, looking for a job is your job. You wake up at 7 a.m., you shower, you get dressed, because no pajamas in the office. Even if that desk where you will be applying to jobs is right next to your bed, you must sit at your desk from 9 to 5, applying, upskilling, and networking. No gaming until 6 p.m., okay? You must earn your leisure, or it will rot your brain. And for rule number 2, the simulation task. If you aren't paying rent, you are artificially wealthy. You need to tax yourself. Take 30% to 50% of any money you get from odd jobs, gifts, or side hustle and lock it in a savings account you cannot touch. Pretend it's rent. Pretend that if you don't pay it, you get evicted. Because eventually, the feeling of stuck in a loop will catch up to you. You will want to move out. You will meet a partner eventually. And if you have zero savings because you spent it all on skins or delivery food, you will feel like the train has left the station. Rule number 3, the skill audit. You cannot apply to 2026 jobs with a 2020 skill set. Every Friday, audit yourself. Ask, am I more employable today than I was on Monday? And if the answer is no, you didn't work. You just wasted time. Use the free time to get a certification. Learn a tool or build a portfolio piece. Just don't wait for an opportunity. Build the skills that force opportunities to find you. Living at home is a launchpad, but a launchpad is designed for launching, not for parking. Be strict now. Being free mean being happy. The lack of purpose in life is depressing. Okay, so you've set up the discipline. You're ready to work. But now you hit the wall that stops almost everyone. What do I actually want to do? This is where you may find yourself, for example, at a large buffet with so many dishes that you end up not eating at all because you cannot decide where to start or what to choose first. You scroll through LinkedIn and every job title sounds fake or miserable. You feel like you need to find your one true calling before you apply to a single place. Let me save you some time. Passion is a trap. Waiting to feel passionate about a job before you start it is like waiting to be fit before you go to the gym. In the big 2026, the straight and narrow approach, where you pick one career at 18 and do it until 65, is unfortunately dead. Instead of looking for a title, look for a problem. Don't ask, do I want to be a data analyst? Ask, do I like solving puzzles? Don't ask, do I want to be in sales? Ask, am I good at convincing people? Take a small skill you already have and scale it up. Your first job doesn't need to be your dream job. It just needs to be a stepping stone. You are not signing a blood oath for the next 40 years. You are just solving the immediate problem of unemployment. Because let's be honest, if we take the Gen Z, for example, we will be hopping from job to job, going to what suits us best. If anyone offers a better salary, we are changing jobs, of course. So here's your assignment, the anti-passion list. Write down everything you hate doing. Hate math, hate talking to customers, hate being outside. Write it down. Whatever is left over, that's your target market. Pick a direction and start walking. You can always change course later, but you can't steer a parked car. Now, let's talk about the battlefield. I spent hours reading the polls on Glassdoor, so you don't have to, of course. And here is a story that I found about someone who is waiting on a response from an interview. It's a story from Alvin Lockett. It's just a post I found on Glassdoor. And he says, "Hello all. I am a nervous wreck. I've been unemployed since May of this year due to my position being eliminated. I have had countless interviews and many final interviews as well, but no offer. I had a great interview on Wednesday, and the hiring manager said he would have a decision by Friday afternoon. I really want the job, but I can't stop thinking about it. I also have another interview with a top company in my city this afternoon, but I am so unfocused. Please help me calm my nerves." So the dude is a nervous wreck. He's worried about the decision that if they're going maybe to ghost him or hire him, I don't know. So he just wants encouragement or maybe an advice. This is something, if your issue is encouragement, it's so easy to get. Like just go online, write, talk about your feelings, how you feel, what's happening, and people will definitely lend an ear and give you an advice. It's so easy. Like look at this comment here from an office manager. He says, one mindset shift that can help is remembering that interviews are not a one-way evaluation. You are not being assessed. You are also conducting your own fact-finding mission. Companies use interviews to understand your potential value, your alignment with their culture, and your ability to meet the role's demands. But at the same time, you should be evaluating them. Does their culture support the way you work? Do their expectations match your expertise and career directions? Does the team dynamic feel healthy and sustainable? Just remind yourself as you journey through the interviews that these are opportunities for companies to earn your confidence. You are not just trying to prove you belong. They're trying to show you why joining them is worth your time and talent. The job search process will always come with stress, but recognizing the reciprocal nature of interviews can help you feel more grounded and in control. Each conversation builds your resilience, sharpens your communication, and expands your understanding of different workplace cultures. I'm at awe. Like, an office manager wrote this for free. He could have he could have just minded his own business, but no, he gave such excellent advice. And we don't know now if Alvin read the comments on time, if it actually helped him or not, but this comment resonated with me. Right now, I am applying for jobs, and just reading this comment made me feel more relaxed. Now I can look at the job offers and the interviews I am, of course, going through with companies in a different light. Here is also another comment from someone named Max Caldwell. He says, "Hello, Alvin. It is completely normal to feel anxious when you've been through multiple interviews and are waiting on decision. It shows how much you care. Try to take a few deep breaths and remind yourself that you've done your best and the outcome is now out of your control. Focus on the interview at hand today, treat it as an opportunity to showcase your skills, and remember that one decision doesn't define your careers." And this is the internet. Like, if you feel stuck, there are always places you can go to get encouragement. People will definitely assist you, and you are not alone. This is something we are all going through. The world is now united. We are all looking for jobs. We are all using platforms to find those jobs. The interviews are almost the same all over the world. Like, there is nothing to worry about. As well, I can also add here, I found another post. It's from a senior software engineer, and he says he's been job hunting since May of last year. Hundreds of applications, one interview. It was the usual auto rejection or ghosting. I applied somewhere a couple of weeks ago. Salary, stack, location was a perfect fit. I was auto rejected a couple of hours later. I have started messaging recruiters for feedback. When this happens, I figured that AI makes a dog's dinner of code, so recruiting is probably no different. 4 interview stages later, I start next week. This message is for those still looking. Keep pushing, don't give up. So you see what I mean? Making it so that applying for jobs is your daily job will get you a job. It literally takes a long time to just get a job, a good one at least, of course. So you must take it seriously. Of course, you will need to motivate yourself to keep applying because no one else is gonna motivate you except yourself. Do you really want that job? Do you really want to keep pushing yourself? Here is as well another comment here on that same post. Is from a managing director, and he says, "I have been looking for a new job for over 9 months now. This gave me some encouragements because it has been really hard to find something. I have only had 2 interviews in the past 9 months." So, what can I say? It really does take some time to find the perfect job. So why not get started from now? The job hunt in 2026 is going to test you. You will get ghosted, you will face rejection, you will send out more than 50 applications into the void and hear nothing back. But remember what this game teaches us. In Viewfinder, if you don't like the reality standing in front of you, you take a picture and you overwrite it. So, you have that same power. If your resume isn't working, rewrite it. If your skills are outdated, overwrite them. If the path is blocked, build a new one. The only way to truly lose this game is to put down the controller. The economy is tough, but you are tougher. So audit your skills, tax your income, and refuse to let your childhood bedroom become your permanent reality. Keep placing those bridges until one of them leads you somewhere new. The world is waiting for you to clock in. Thanks for watching. Now get to work.